Hey everyone, it's a talking race walking shoe review. And what I've got today is a Saucony shoe that I have worn. I really liked it. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you, but I wanted to share my experiences with the shoe based on my race walking knowledge, and then you can evaluate whether it might be a good choice for you. So today what I've got is the Saucony Kinvara 13. There it is. I've actually stashed away a few, so this is the bright yellow version of it. I haven't even put any miles on this sucker really, so brand new, ready to go, nice and shiny for this review. And so this is a sort of a lightweight trainer in the Saucony line. It's been around for quite a while, different versions of it. So different with shoe brands, what they'll do is often add a number to the model name. So with the Kinvara, the 13 usually indicates that's the 13th version of the shoe. And oftentimes it's on the shoe, the name here, it's on the tongue. So sometimes people aren't sure, how to find out the name of the shoe. It is in the store, of course. They'll have it on the wall and everything else, but usually somewhere in the shoe. So this is the Kinvara. It's a lightweight trainer. Unique thing as well with this shoe, especially this version. It's the last version. There's now a 14 out, but this is a Kinvara 13, and it's unusual in terms of it's got a heel of 28 millimeters, a toe of 24. So the difference, which is the drop, is only 4 millimeters. Now that's fairly unusual. So it's not a zero drop shoe. Most running shoes aren't really. There's not too many. There's brands like Ultra and a few others that are zero. I mean, no difference from heel to toe. But this one, pretty darn close, only 4 millimeters. And for race walkers, that's not a bad thing. You don't want a huge difference going from heel to toe. You want something that doesn't have too much of a huge drop, and you don't want a really thick heel. So for the Saucony Kinvara, you've got a low drop. The heel itself is not really thick, as you can see. And it comes in a regular, it comes in a wide. So you've got a great toe area, nice mesh on it. The shoe itself does not have a lot of bells and whistles in terms of added technology. Oftentimes, you've got the carbon fiber shoes, you got gel and air, you've got other things to really enhance what the shoe is doing. This is a fairly bare bones, lightweight, in terms of 7.2 ounces for, I think it's like size 9.5 men, but that's a 7.2 ounces, so you can compare that to other shoes. Relatively lightweight as well. Solid in terms of a heel counter, and that's the plastic piece back here that provides that stability in the heel. Really nice mesh in terms of accommodates a lot of different feet, and is not too firm, or doesn't have sort of pressure points. So I quite like this shoe. But the other thing as well is it's got a lot of flexibility. And still in terms of as well, it also flexes and twists a little bit. So there's not a lot of extra sort of plastic inlay in here to give it extra stability. So depending on your foot type, this is really meant to be a neutral cushioned shoe. It's lightweight, it flexes well. It's got nice breathable mesh upper. I quite enjoy it. It's light. I feel like it's not a race shoe, but it feels light to race walk in. I like the fact that the cushion itself, the durometer of the foam, it's not too firm, but not too soft as well. So I quite like it. I often go with my easy days or my medium pace days, and I quite like this shoe. As my race walking has progressed, I find that the shoe that I like to go fast in has changed a little bit. But this one I've worn for quite a few years. The 13, I actually have the version 12 as well, which I really liked. So, there we go. From that side as well, you can see what it looks like. You can see the bottom. It's kind of got a blown rubber outsole here. Not much different from the midsole. It does have one wear point here with a little bit extra. I think that's carbon fiber or more durable. So the heel strength. But I haven't had any issues as well in terms of this is wearing down really fast. This shoe, especially with race walking, I get quite a few miles out. It's not a long mileage shoe, but I've been able to squeeze a lot of miles out of this, especially race walking. For running, I would probably blow this shoe out a lot faster. With running, it's usually 500 to 800 kilometers. Race walking, probably comparable, just because of the fact that we're not coming down with as much impact. So I really like this shoe. Not a huge rocker, but it does have some at the front. So I really found this in terms of a lightweight, flexible shoe for people who don't have foot shoes, aren't really heavy. This can be a great shoe. And in terms of race walking shoes, what you are looking for most of the time is a running shoe, because there are not a lot of other brands out there. I want to give a shout out to Reshod and my friend Carmen. So she makes race walking shoes for race walkers. She's a race walking coach and she's a race walker herself. Go check out her shoes. She has a certain way that she makes her shoes and a certain philosophy in terms of it. They're a bit firmer. She has the philosophy that they help you kind of roll from heel to toe. I used them when I first started race walking. It's not a shoe I use to train right now, but there are a lot of people who really like them. But getting back to the sort of what you're looking for into a race walking shoe, first of all, it's got to fit length and width wise. There's got to be enough room in the front of it as well that you're not pressing on the sides of your foot. You've got a little bit of thumbnails width of room at the toe. It fits well at the heel. There's nothing rubbing. It's not rubbing the ankle bone at all as well. And then what you look at, is it comfortable when you walk or when you do a test run or a test walk, and does it feel comfortable? And it's going to vary in terms of your race walking pace you're going at, your age, your flexibility, what type of race walking you're doing. Are you an elite who's almost doing that straight-legged run? Are you an older athlete or someone who's slower, who's really not coming off the ground at all? It's a fast walk. Still with the race walk technique. All of this changes in terms of how the shoe feels and what works for you. But really the key things we're talking about, though, is looking for a shoe that doesn't have too thick a heel. Because when you're race walking, you really come down on that heel first. So you don't want something that's too hard, too soft, but especially not too thick. You want to be able to sort of roll from that heel right up to the toe. And you want to be able as well either have a shoe that flexes well at that forefoot, or some of those carbon fiber shoes out there now. They actually have that rocker that allows you to roll forward. Now that's a different matter. We'll talk about that shoe because I have one to review later. But they are a different sort of beast as well. But if you'd like to look at this, go check it out. It's the Kinvara 13. I really like the shoe. The Kinvara 14 is not quite the same thing, but thanks for listening, and I hope you like it, and there'll be some more race walking shoe reviews coming.